Hey
Three,
now,
much
high
more
school
by
challenge. High
ounce.
school challenge.
1993, much more by ounce. Q-Dog coming with the half ounce. Not just me, big tray full of songs. Atomic
Yeah,
Dog. Yeah, we here.
yeah.
We made it.
Oh,
Welcome to another
yeah.
episode of the Off the Porch podcast.
Wish me on. That's how
Yeah.
we feel today.
Let's talk about some music today, dog.
Man,
Specifically,
my favorite subject. My absolute favorite
specifically,
subject.
I would like to talk about the music that made us who we are and the music that we grew up on and what made our personalities, because music to me, it kind of has shaped a lot of who I am and the way that I move and the vibe that I carry in places. And it kind of my taste changes with my emotions. I'll say that.
Okay, okay.
And I
I'm,
mean,
I feel that. I'm pretty well the same way.
yeah, yeah.
Mm, I'm a little narrow, more narrow than I want to be
I
here lately.
mean, a lot. I mean, a lot of people are, but
Mm, I think I'm getting to the point to where streaming kind of put me in the spot to where it's super repetitive because I find them little comfort playlists and go to them and I hear the same stuff and
right.
like, but I'm looking for something different at the moment,
I think
even if my emotions don't reflect it. You know what I mean?
right. I think that streaming has, because when when we grew up on albums,
Radio,
full
radio,
albums. Yeah, the
mm-hmm.
radio. Um,
And
I
I
heard
still listen
somebody.
to music by the album.
I heard somebody talking about music on the radio, and just back in the day, like, people get so tired of songs real quick in
Uh-huh.
this day and age.
Uh-huh.
Like in the
Well, the radio
nineties,
did that too. Oh, I used to hate that
in
shit.
the nineties,
No, the '90s radio was fire in the '90s.
a song could be on
It
there
got
for
repetitive around
360.
the
Yeah,
2000s, man.
yeah,
Radio used to
right.
have everything playing, man, and it
But
sounded good edited.
yeah, you
That
wouldn't
was
get
my
tired
stuff.
of a
I
song
was a
after.
fool to edit back in the day, huh?
You wouldn't get tired of a song after a year. Like, people get tired of a song after a couple
It
months
was a
now.
variety.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
it
a
was a variety of
variety.
songs. It was a variety of genres that like fit together. Like the '90s was a time, dog.
Yeah,
The '90s was a time.
you know. Mm, let's start from an early age. What was
Early age.
what let's see. Let's all encompass. First of all, what all do you listen to? What's your
Woo!
background, like,
My bread
genre
and butter
wise?
is gonna be hip hop and R&B. I mean, coming up, just a young black kid. I mean, that's kind of like the consensus, you know.
Yeah.
I did dabble like the earliest I can remember is my mama playing the '60s music on cleanup weekends in the
Mm-hmm.
morning. She had Aretha Franklin, she had Al Green, she had Otis Redding, she had shit, some of everybody pretty much, the Commodores. Uh, so I grew up listening to all that, and then my daddy had he had the old setup, the old stereo setup with the speakers
Mm-hmm.
and shit.
Yep.
Um, he had the Chronic, he had East 99 in the return, 1999 in Eternal,
Mm-hmm.
Death Certificate, and those kind of albums. I wasn't supposed to be listening to them because my mama was real strict about like a lot of the media we consumed. But we would sneak down in the basement of the townhouse that we grew up in and blast my daddy's stereo before my mama came home from work. We listened to everything. Uh, my dad was big on. Well, he wasn't big on rap, he's just big on music in general. My dad's real big on music, and so am I. I got that from him. But yeah, I had a big variety of music. I would go to Oklahoma, and my cousins coming from a small town, you know, you got a little bit of country, but then in the '90s it was contemporary rock. That Matchbox 20, the Red Hot Chili
Yeah.
Peppers, some of that stuff, some of like them kind of hits like that. I'll
Mm-hmm.
definitely go back and go and hit some of that every now and again. So I got a taste for a little bit more on the rockish side, a little bit, but not much. You know, I got the stuff that I go back and listen to. I like you when you saying the music by emotion.
Mm-hmm.
If you put me in the right setting, I'm listening to some country music. I don't care what nobody
Oh,
say.
absolutely.
Shit, shit. We can go to town. So yeah, pretty much any and everything. I don't like too heavy or too fast music. Um, I do sometimes. I have been in scenes where like EDM is playing, and I've been able to get into it. It's fun, but I don't. It's a little. It gets to me. It gets too hard for too long, and then
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah.
get that. And you know that's it's starting to wear on me now.
I remember my dad used to talk about cats at his job that used to listen to techno. So I used to
Mm-hmm.
actually hear a little bit of techno. It wasn't bad,
It's
but
with black folks, techno is real. Techno and EDM is real hit or miss. So you know.
right in the middle because when EDM was getting hot, uh, my favorite rapper had an EDM song and it had hella big bass on it, and it was fire. So I mean, it's like I had to open up my mind because, well, if you like big bass, you have like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Rap, like there's a
But
where
so
some of them beats are
you
so
know
fire,
you know
and so I
it.
don't turn,
You know
huh?
with EDM, there's a whole subgenre called trap, and
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
exactly what you
mm-hmm,
referring to. So
mm-hmm.
yeah, uh,
So yeah,
mm-hmm. Go
what
ahead.
about you? What you what? No, that's about it. Like, we can go in more detail later about what.
Uh, you know, me, uh, from my mom's side, I I I have like that's how I get my memories. I don't know if you really you get that like this like certain songs or albums or just hearing certain music brings up memories. So like
Mm-hmm.
like with my mama and
Oh
like
man, I got so many.
Erica Badu and like cleaning was the
Yeah.
association, and
Your
then
mama was Erica Badu and cleaned up.
yeah,
Yeah, we
yeah.
had Aretha, bro. We had Aretha, and we the same age. So
Yeah, it was
oh man,
Erica Badu, D'Angelo, all that was our
we didn't
cleaning
get no
stuff.
D'Angelo.
Uh, they did LSG.
My daddy had that one. My daddy had that one. See,
Uh,
because my daddy had the
as
new school stuff. My mama's man, still to this day, she cuss more than anybody in the house. But as soon as she hears some music with some cussing in it, turn it off. I
now
got one of them kind of mamas.
here's because this is my first instance of like that I remember of rap music, and it was being in a Saturn, and boom, 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 woo, dun, 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 dun. Ladies and gentlemen, dun, 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 they call him Juve. Dun,
Oh
uh,
man,
uh,
see,
dun,
that's your
dun, dun,
first.
dun. Yeah.
What?
That's like the first
Juvenile
instant.
nigga?
That's like the first instance of like that like core memory of it.
Uh
Like
huh.
I don't really like before that. I don't necessarily like before that. It was mostly R&B. Like and
Really?
yeah, like
So did you not listen to a lot of radio back in the day?
not really.
Okay. Well, actually, back in the day, the radio was actually way more R&B heavy than it is now, right?
yeah,
So
right.
that's also a thing.
Uh-huh.
Uh, but my daddy, like I said, he had rap music in the house, and we was my sister
Right.
was big on rap. Well,
Like,
she was big on rap music, but
because 97, 98 is He Who Shall Not Be Named, and like, kind of, yeah, you know who I'm talking about. The dude, yeah. Uh, uh, take that, take that. That guy. So, like, right.
my bad.
That is like my and like the tail end
Hmm.
Tupac and Biggie, all it, like that is like
Hmm.
my foray into it. And yeah, like the 400 Degrees album, I would never like ran the tape into the ground. Ran it into the ground.
That's one I could have never gotten my hands on in my house.
We
Let me
ran it
tell you.
into the ground, brother.
Let me tell you. While we were sneaking and listening to all these old school rap, well, it wasn't old school at that point in time, but all these rap albums,
Mm-hmm.
my daddy was still buying me R&B CDs on the side.
Right.
So Usher My Way, that was my first CD.
That
My daddy bought me Usher My Way.
now.
Uh,
So wait a minute.
mhm,
Yeah.
mhm,
See, my but now there was that with my mama, but there's listen. The other part we call it Celica music. Them 5-star ribs.
that sounds dangerous.
Ask ask Nigel. And it was two core memories I remember. It's Shabba Ranks and the greatest song ever recorded, known to man, and that's Return of the Mac.
Man, hey, now Return of the Mac was one of them ones, dog. It really was. Um,
It's hands down the greatest song ever made. And if you got a problem with that,
yeah.
like,
Dog, I remember that was playing on the radio. That's one of the ones, the first where I first figured out what was a just an hourly play, like the repeat song. They played that. They wore that song out. Dude was
yes,
from the UK. Nobody really knew it. It was definitely a one-hit wonder type of deal. But I remember that song had the streets in a headlock, boy.
yeah.
My daddy had that Shabba Ranks album too, but we didn't listen to it very often.
Hey, it's
Uh,
it's still one, it's still hot,
yeah,
still hot.
yeah.
So,
I'm mad his record player broke because he used to have George Clinton.
oh,
Uh,
hold on, hold on. No, you. Oh no,
he
no,
had some banger records, man.
because I just bought something today that you gonna be fucking mad.
Okay,
You and
okay.
it's finna sit right there in the middle. Oh, you finna be real mad.
All I got is this punk ass Funko Pop.
But yeah,
Anyways, it better not be, man. Anyways, he
yeah,
had some banging ass vinyls, and his record player broke at some point, and that part of the stereo never got fixed. He still got that joint too. Go in and mess with it every now and again.
yeah.
But yeah,
Man,
he definitely sparked my love for music, man, and it was all over the place, boy.
yeah. I mean, from those two, what you got from me was just an all-time love, aka George Clinton's #1 fan. And just a love for really a love for soul and R&B in general, because
All right, yeah.
I don't know how many times I performed the Isley Brothers for countless family members. Also,
Drifting on a memory. Ain't no place I'd rather
be than with you. Well.
That's my shit.
So
That's my shit.
yeah, and after that, one of my first CDs by myself, Bow Wow, brother.
Beware the Dog?
Yeah.
I got it for my birthday that year.
Hey. Same.
Sleep if you want to. Clown if you want to.
Hey.
Unfortunately, he didn't develop into anything in the later generation, but that album was fire, and you're not about to tell me it wasn't.
You can't tell me
nothing. For a kid my age,
you couldn't
man,
tell me.
Come
also,
on.
Shout out.
Yeah, I definitely had Beware of the Dog.
Yeah. Also, another thing that, and I didn't realize it until like years and years after. My grandpa, shout out to him. He used to listen to them jazz radio stations, and they do like contemporary jazz, and it'd be like new school. Yeah, I listen to jazz. I listen to contemporary jazz too.
I didn't get into jazz until my 20s. I had to go on like a musical adventure, a hip hop. After I graduated high school, and my mama couldn't tell me what not to listen to, especially because there was a lot of headphones and stuff coming out.
Right.
I had my big Zoom, and I did all kinds of different hip hop that I could just listen to without. And man, that stuff filled up like encyclopedia.
Right.
After high school, I filled my head up with hip hop music, basically.
I think so. I did that was it was the Bow Wow album, and then like I started kind of getting out and venturing, and then we got into like the Chronic 2001 and like explorations of gangster music and shit like that. So and then it slowly starts to open up. That's like middle school. So
okay,
I had to go back and like Biggie and stuff like that. But one of the other albums that and I figured some things out about myself that I am very much a lover boy, and I should have known that by the way that the music that I listen to, cause like 112 and Jagged Edge and shit. One of the highlights.
I mean, the single, the next, I Still Love You.
Yeah, one of the highlights.
New Edition, Home Again.
Baby Bash. Ran that album into the ground, bro.
Oh man. Baby, I didn't listen to the Baby Bash album. That's when I started listening to a little bit more rap. Because around the Baby Bash time, I'm thinking I had the Games documentary.
So yeah, I got that. And then that is like the era of when we started listening. That's Mike Jones and Chameleonaire. That's 12-13 right there. So that's around the era of that. So
I think like my middle school time, I was actually trying to be a breakdancer, right? So my sister was into a lot of East Coast like b-boy stuff, and now I know I'm big. It's just like I did pretty like breakdancing and stuff, but I really took that backwards dive. We was listening to like Run DMC, MC Light, and we was just like breaking to what's that Planet Rock and all this other kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, and we used to we used to try to go the whole thing. I ain't gonna sit up here and say I was good at breakdancing, no, but that's what we was doing. You know what I mean? That's what I was listening to. So it became like she started going real underground. I was listening to like Lyricist Lounge tapes, which I just found some of those at the house. I'm probably gonna steal them. It was hella underground East Coast after I was listening to my daddy shit.
So and I forget about this too. This was like when me and Jonathan got on this wild beatboxer kick, and we was listening to Rozelle mixtapes.
Rozelle?
Yeah.
That's a bad mother.
Yeah, that's back when
I
we was
remember
listening to
Roselle.
Roselle mixtapes.
That's funny. That's funny. What else was I listening to at that point in time when I was doing?
And yeah, around there. And we're at the end of this, we're gonna do our top 10 albums of that influenced our life. So
Mm-hmm.
some of them you'll probably already know, but yeah,
Oh man.
but is 13 or 14? This is 2004. Yeah, a
College Dropout. Kanye came out.
See, I was late on the College Dropout because
I was right on time.
because why was I late? Because of a little album called Crunk Juice, baby. Called Crunch Juice. you want to talk about it in a chokehold?
Hey, which one? B.I.P.I.? Was that the one with
That was the first one. That was the first one.
That one had
Crunk Juice had I spent know you for a long time. Shout it.
That wasn't the first one.
That was the second one. That was Crunk Juice. The
Kings of Crunk was before that.
Yeah, the Kings of Crunk was the one with B.I.B. on it.
Yeah, I think that was my 7th grade year.
The one with Luda.
Yeah, now pour out the hit and coke and fire up that dope, man.
Yeah.
Come on. Yep.
Yeah, we
Don't be with J Money serving
everybody.
Man, yeah. No, that was after high school though. That was way later.
Yeah, man, that's around for that right there. See that 14, and then when I hit high school, and I shout out to the hardcore scene. I kind of had that, you get that rebellion, and I started digging into like hardcore music and going to shows. Mm-hmm. This is my mom doesn't know that I think she called me sneaking out at like 16 or 17, one of the two. I was well before that. Well before that. But
see, I would have never even known. I was just always at home. I knew you for forever, but I didn't know, like, I probably wouldn't even live with you. I couldn't sneak out of my house, man. My daddy would have been waiting on me like what's his name at the end of the house party.
Yeah. Can't do that.
No, can't do that.
So I got into like the hardcore scene. I started hanging out with Mallory and all them, listening to A Day to Remember, and hanging out with them. But that's a whole that in itself deserves a whole story. But so I got into the hardcore scene and volumes and Emir, and some people will know this stuff. But that was like my music and it bridged the gap when party like a rock star.
Man.
And finally,
and
I was
like when they started rocking out, you got the Roscoe Dash and all that. That was an era, boy.
I was like, you come together? Yes, finally.
Let me tell you.
Yeah.
I was in college at that point in time. Sadell had a mohawk, and
that was like 08.
We was South Padre acting up. Oh yeah, because we went to go see you on the way. Yeah, in San Antonio, and we went to the club. Yep. Oh, that was a good time for music too. That was right around the blog era. So you got Cushion Orange Juice. You got I didn't listen to Section 80. That was about the same time. I didn't get on Section 80 till after Good Kid, Mad City came out. Who else was in the blog era? Wale came out. I was big on Wale when he came out.
So just to set the scene for this part, this is this little era. So this is 2009 ish. We 19 years old. I am in the military at this point, and this is a big part of that. I was a sneaker collector. I had like 10K worth of sneakers at the time, and a lot of it had to do with Wale and seeing his sneaker collection and stuff like that. So at this time, I'm collecting some of the most sought after shoes of all times. Is just culture, just all culture, and I think this is when I was in that era of fucking dancing for white folks, and this is when it started. It starts to turn around.
You gotta go through it to get to it. Whatever you had to do. Yep. Yep. But nah, man, I could go for days about different. Like, what's a good setting that reminds you of out of town? Like, did you ever travel somewhere that a certain song reminded you
I think when I used to go from San Antonio to Austin all the time. It was like an hour and a half drive, and that's when I used to turn on that Section 80 and just drive.
of?
That's when I think anytime I got to drive from San Antonio back to Wichita, and I just got to I would turn on just like old albums that I hadn't listened to in forever, like oh Jesus Christ, like that old Lauryn Hill album.
The Miseducation?
Yeah, the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. I turn on stuff like that and just drive like that. Those are like memories.
Come on.
Yeah.
Man. And to Zion. Yep. And I'm in the car by myself. Yo, I came from the LimeWire era. I didn't burn. So man, I had so many just brilliant playlists. I would say for myself,
right,
that I used to be able to bump. And oh man, I was on the highway going back and forth when I was living in Oklahoma, blasting everything from. That's when I got into my hair metal. I saw I saw Journey performing on a football game on TV at one point in time. I heard "Don't Stop Believing." I was like, I like that song. I went and grabbed like a whole bunch of like hits from the '80s and stuff and put them together that I kind of recognized and knew, and I put them on the CD, bruh, on the highway, bruh, yeah. And then I did some oldies playlists on the highway. The oldies feel good, like when you got that street light at the nighttime and it's repetitive. Maybe you got something real smooth going, boy.
Like in it, and because we had that era when it was just like haunted strip club music. Like the weekend.
Yeah, I love strippers.
Yeah.
Talking about earlier than that.
I'm talking about the weekend, the haunted strip club music, and I would just try, and we would just drive around at night. Yeah, that that was the thing.
Oh man, I remember the first time I heard "Day and Night."
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Me and Brandon were talking about that. Me and Brandon were talking about that. Brandon has like a 7-inch vinyl of that.
No stuff.
Yeah. Oh, brother. Wait till he's supposed to come on here at some point, but wait till you see some of it.
Got to get back with that man. We supposed to listen to some music. I know he got some shit.
Oh yeah, it's woof. So, but
I got some shit too.
I mean, I got something coming.
I'm just saying.
But guess what?
I love collecting music, man. Huh?
Guess what?
You just made the list.
You ready for your top 10? Well, we'll shoot back and forth. That way,
Okay.
you ain't
Okay.
gotta.
Okay.
So,
Wait. We going from 10 to 1?
we going from 10 to 1.
Okay. Woo.
So you want to give them your number 10?
My number 10 is Malibu by Anderson .Paak.
Okay.
2006. I think it came out in 2015. I heard it in 2016. That was the time. That was a time. They decriminalized.
Mm-hmm.
I was grown, and I was looking for some different kind of music, and it sounded real good, and it just it it sealed the deal for me, man. That was a really good one. I love that album, and it kind of signified like my change that everything don't have to be like hard rap music too, because I kind of fell into some shit for a while. Not like bad or nothing, but just kind of got mono with my style of music. So that one really switched up, and he had a good run after that too. So, yup.
Okay. I like that. My number 10. Yeah, I did go with Lil Jon and the East Side Boys. Crunk Juice. Hey, that is yeah. That is the one instance of like I've waited for an album because I was the love for the singles was so furious on I begged and begged for that album. And I finally got it for Christmas, and yeah, played it out. Played it out.
I believe it. That's funny. That's funny. Okay. Huh?
Number 9, brother.
Number 9. Kendrick Lamar's "To Pimp a Butterfly."
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna say these are well. Let me just as a kind of a last minute disclaimer. I'm not gonna say that these are any particular order, but they are in a particular order. But it changes based off of my mood.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like subject to change, and you know, but this is where I'm at. To Pimp a Butterfly. There's so much to be said. I think like anybody that on your sophomore album, technically, that can get a Tupac interview at the end of it that ain't nobody heard before, nobody seen coming.
Mm-hmm.
You got it. Second of all, there's no sophomore syndrome there for Kendrick. You had All Right that pretty much led the it didn't lead it, but like just kind of that proclamation of like this nigga's like Tupac again, you know, or yeah, not to put him on a pedestal type or nothing, but like just the impact that it had on the moment.
It definitely gave him that more activist type of persona, I guess.
King Kunta is one of my favorite songs on there. I ain't gonna lie to you, cause like the man really got on there and like he talking the kind of shit that I like niggas to talk. Like that's kind of where I was coming from. Like, yeah, and then like really putting stuff out. Like, I think for me, it was a perspective. Like it had some real depth of feeling, and I could comprehend it. And that was kind of not necessarily the first time, but the most impactful time for me. So definitely To Pimp a Butterfly is on there, and it was dope. Made me feel some shit.
Okay. My number 9, the one that you know made me feel some shit. We me and a friend played this every Valentine's Day.
Uh-oh.
Because it was our like
I'm already knowing.
Number 9, It's Kanye West 808s and heartbreaks.
Why are you so paranoid? Don't be so paranoid. Don't be so. Yeah, that's my shit.
So
That's my shit.
well,
I hated it when it came out. I could not stand that album when it came out.
hated
So
it.
bad.
Hated everything about it.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking 10 years later, it was a masterpiece in my eyes.
Man, let me just say, I wish Bound 2 was on 808s and Heartbreaks.
Yes.
Yep. Man, that song is so fire to me. Like, damn, whatever he going through right now.
Yeah.
But I'm not about to. Yeah, nah. You're not about to sit here and tell me I wasn't bumping Kanye. Like,
hey.
Yeah, and an album that can come back and be like, oh, that was fire. That's the level of genius.
When it come back around and you be like, oh, I see the vision.
5 years later.
Yeah.
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 Yep.
Okay. Give me number 8, brother.
Number 8. Oh, I got it. Oh, this one is In Search Of by Nerd. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, because it's starting.
Man, look, and I was in what, like 7th, 8th grade, I think.
Wild.
And it wasn't, but it was. The Clips was on it. They was rock and rolling. It was for real. And then
I think,
however many years later, I felt like I've been listening to it my whole life. Pharrell's a genius. I'm a big Pharrell fan.
I think that was like, that was that first instance of like, oh, black people do this rock star shit. Black people do this rock thing. I think that.
Oh my goodness. Yup.
I like that. I like that.
Enough said, right?
Yeah.
What about yours?
Number 8, I got the Isleys Eternal.
Okay.
Cause what significant memory do all black people have, if not singing Contagious in front of your family because your mama said, sing that little song you be doing all the time with your brother?
I still got a picture of you at the port doing karaoke.
You got that right.
Contagious. Classic. Absolute classic.
Yeah.
I'm gonna listen to it. I ain't never heard it all the way through.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
What do you mean memories? What do you mean influenced my life? If not me standing in front of my you're contagious, touch me, baby. Give me what you got.
You can't do that with Contagious. You can't do that with Contagious. Yeah. No.
All right. Yeah.
Number 7?
7.
It must be the Genius, the Jizza, Liquid Swords. So, 2009 comes. Pandora Radio is starting to get kind of big. I put on Lupe Fiasco Radio, and then I heard, I'm trying to think of the name of the title. The title of the song off of there, I forgot. Fourth Dimension. Either way, I think it was Ghostface that said, "Why is the sky blue? Why is water wet? Why did Judas rat out the germ?" I about said Germans.
Jesus.
Whoever while Jesus slept, and that was the first time I heard niggas asking like them kinds of questions in hip hop, and I was
you started getting it in 48
all of this. And then I found shadow boxing And you know what I mean? When the
Yeah.
MCs came to live out, man, come on. Yeah, that was one of my first ones that I really was able to like adopt on my own. It was even before I really started listening to Wu Tang that I heard Liquid Swords, and I was like, it's a no skipper for me. That was one of my no skippers.
Okay. Okay. For number 7, uh, I went with an EDM album.
Okay,
Uh,
I was hoping you
a
would.
very good one. One of my favorite DJ duos to ever walk this earth. Zez Dead, Northern Lights.
I hear you talk
Uh,
about Zed Dead a lot.
yeah, there's two flags in there. There's a picture that one of my other friends, Ray, painted. There's all
Uh-huh.
types of shit. That the back like years and years ago, you'd always hear this Eyes on Fire remix or the White Satin remix and stuff, and it was
Mm-hmm.
that was them. That was what I remember vividly, and I just loved their style and the way that they did things, and I think the first time I saw them was, of course, on my way to Austin from San Antonio.
Oh, oh.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and saw
Mm-hmm.
them, and then I saw them in 2013 there, and then I saw them at South by Southwest in a basement.
You think I'm going to go to South by Southwest?
I went to
Am I
four.
an old head?
I went to four South
Huh?
by Southwest.
I know, but I'm saying that 35, like, is that a thing? Am I too old? Am I gonna be like
No,
everybody uncle out there
no,
going through
no,
social?
no, no,
I
no, no,
always
no,
want to go.
no. This is so, because I want to go again, and let's put that on our list, because here's how it works. Everything, the whole entire city
Mm-hmm.
is an event. That's how, whenever they do things, the whole entire city becomes an event. And the main, like, there's a main concert that happens at the big convention center. The
Yeah.
rest of the stuff is all through the city. So there's like emos, there's stuff on 6th Street, there's
Oh,
always a way to get away from it. That's that's the thing that I liked. There's always
so
there's always a way to get away from everything. Is if
Mhm.
whether you go one block this way or 2 blocks this way, there's always a way to get away from stuff. That's why I like it. But so there's always like events and stuff going on, but
Mhm.
some of them will be like random. So there's like this place in the middle, like it's on, I think it's like Congress, and it's just a little bar in a basement. And the first time I went, that's where I saw ZZ. I was like 2 years later is when I saw the incident with ASAP Rocky with the green bandana. They got in a whole fight about a green bandana. It's a whole thing.
Oh shit.
Uh, I met we went to emos, and that's where I met Danny Brown. Uh,
Lucky.
yeah, I met Danny Brown there. Flatbush Zombies, and then Flostradamus, DJ A Track. So yeah,
Okay.
like you
Okay.
know, like it is. It's a whole thing, and one of my favorite sneaker stores is down there. I go in there every time. Like it's a whole thing. We'll have to go and
Okay.
film it and make it a thing. So
So so we are going to South by Southwest.
yes, we are going to South by Southwest. We saw
Yeah.
Erica Badu and George Clinton there, and in a like a little garage. There's a whole bar that is it's like an old automotive garage, and me and my cousin waited out there until like 9, 10 o'clock at night.
I don't blame you.
Cause
I don't blame
when
you.
I don't care if she come on late. I don't care what time she come on. I'm gonna sit and listen. So,
Right.
oh, we done got way off. So yes, there's that Northern Lights.
Yeah, we did.
All right, get your 6.
Number 6. House of Music by Tony Tone.
Okay.
I love, hey man, that's one that like it takes me back to the country coming up in the summertime with my folks, like just in the sticks running around without no shoes. Uh that's come on, let's get down, let's get that was
Mm-hmm.
like oh man, and that was pretty much a no skipper for me too, but it takes me that album takes me to a special place. I wish I could find that one on vinyl. I can't find that one on vinyl that I want to pay for it yet. So yeah, but definitely got to put a little smooth groove on
Yeah. Number 6. You know, I picked Juvenile 400 Degrees.
there.
Thanks, Mom. You know what I'm
Hey,
saying?
hey, Mama
Hey,
had that CD, huh? Ain't
just
play it on repeat, huh?
yeah, just I just the just listening to that, and you know, I'm from South Carolina. I'm from down south. That down south twang, and the strings, and the brass in the background is just
Mm-hmm.
what on top of just gangster rap.
Well,
It
they
what
do a lot of brass and strings down there
right.
in the boot.
Mm-hmm.
That's right up the alley. Yep. They did Manny Fresh is a legend,
Yeah.
a legend. Yep.
Yeah. So
Yep.
that's my number 6 right there.
Number 5, The Blueprint. That's like my pop culture number one, my favorite. I was a lot more on Jay Z than I was in Nas back then. If you wanted to take it to that, everybody always say who's your
I
favorite.
I
I
remember.
like Nas a lot, and I like Nas for a different reason than I like Jay Z. I didn't. I think Nas won. Ether was, but the Blueprint particularly for me was one of them ones that you like. It kind of felt that one kind of got me onto the listening to complete albums type of feel because everything flows so well on that one. I pretty much don't skip that one either. That's my stuff.
I can't
That's my
see it
stuff.
coming down my eyes, so I
So I
gotta
gotta
make
make
this
this song
song cry.
more. That's one to hit the highway too. That's like one of
Yeah.
them inner city
Yeah.
highway, and you mad at your girl, and you
Yeah.
put on song cry.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, Blueprint,
Yeah. Yeah. Um, for my number 5, let me set the stage for this one because
Okay, okay.
uh, we first of all now it didn't really click in till about 2011, but 2008 we graduating and I start getting into EDM and stuff like that. And number 5, we gonna go with Skrillex's Scary Monsters and Night Sprites.
I'm sorry, what?
Skrillex. Yeah. And
Twirlight.
Skrillex.
Oh, Skrillex. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I can tell you, I went to EDC Dallas in 2011. And that's when I was like, yeah, I like this scene. They cool. They kind of cool over here. Because I remember so vividly he was uh, the main headliner. And it was so packed that I've never been to something of this magnitude, mind you. And it was so packed that the fire marshal had to come in and stop the show.
Damn.
It was that.
That's
It
always
was
a
like
good
that.
time.
Yeah,
That's always a good time.
yeah.
Yep. Yep. That's what's up.
So that was like, yeah, this dude's the truth.
See, you got it. You got one with the put you. Yeah. That's what's up.
Yeah, I went to EDC Dallas in 2011. We saw him. This was when Flux Pavilion wasn't who he is today. And Excision and all them, they was just little baby. Now these dudes are legends in the electronic scene. So
Okay. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, they didn't
that's
see them in some movies and stuff. Like
mm-hmm.
Skrillex.
Yeah.
Um, that's okay. Number
Mm.
4. Mine's a compilation.
Okay.
This is when my daddy. We all went and bought a CD, and I bought my first CD with my own money. I bought the games, the documentary, the same day we went to We was at Circuit City. My daddy bought the Best of Parliament.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, the
Mm-hmm.
yellow joint, the CD. He had the 6 disc changer in the
First of
Tahoe,
all,
and he put
because I just went to go buy that vinyl. Guess how much that vinyl is?
$72.
$269. Yeah.
I guess it's just a bit there.
I
But
I
I'm glad
was
you
like,
got it. I'm glad you got it. I'm
uh,
glad you got it.
no, I didn't buy that one. I bought a different one.
Oh boy,
I bought a
that's
different one.
damn.
I bought a different one.
I can't find no Parliament records right now, man. I did find a Funkadelic, America Eases Young. I did find that one. I got that, but I don't have a Parliament vinyl yet, and I'm working on it.
Yeah.
Uh, but my
Yeah.
pops copped that one, and he bought Ohio Players Gold. And then that's when he put me on funk. When I heard George Clinton DJing, talking about the chocolate cities and what was gonna
Mm-hmm.
be and how they was breaking those cities is already established as black places in my mind, because you know what I mean. He took me way back, and then I figured out, oh well, shoot, George Clinton is on Outkast album, he
Right.
on Dr.
You
Dre
you know
samples, you know, he was in House Party, you know what I
yeah.
mean, like
I
he was a
so
staple.
high you
And
can't get over it. So low you can't get under it.
and then yeah, he took me back to yeah, that I got that record downstairs, but somebody took the vinyl. He just got the case. The vinyl ain't there. It hurt, boy.
Yeah,
I be,
yeah.
man, I used to go and look for it.
You
But
know that but I got the listen. I
that's why that's why I did that fish on your painting.
mm-hmm.
The fish, it came off that and the woman that's sitting up there on the shoulder.
Yes, the
Them all
Chocolate
came off
City,
that
the Chocolate City
huh?
lady. You talking about the Chocolate City lady?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Them came off that cover. I can't remember the title of it, but yeah, man. And then funk took over after that. Like that was seventh, eighth grade year, I think, or maybe it might have been. Yeah, it was eighth grade. It wasn't freshman year. And I told my daddy, I said, I'm gonna pull up to prom bumping, give up the funk. I told him
To
that
the roof over.
that day when he put me on. And guess what I did? I drove his truck, same truck, to the prom bumping. Yep. Yep. That's what I.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, I did.
All right. All right.
That's my shit.
Number 4 for me, Jamie Foxx is unpredictable.
Ooh,
Yeah.
banger. That's pretty much a no skipper too.
Yeah.
That would have the streets in the chokehold too.
Yeah. That was
Yeah.
that right there was cleaning the house.
Yep.
That's the cleaning the house one right there.
Yep.
No
Okay.
skips.
No skip.
Whole house singing. House is clean.
Mary
Everything
J
good.
on there going in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one was a banger.
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay. Okay.
What you got for number
Number
3?
3, the college dropout.
All right.
Right around the time I became a official Funketeer, the
Mm-hmm.
college dropout came out. Through the Wire was on the radio crazy, and then I found out he was writing, did a lot of the production on the Blueprint, and so I'm like, yeah, next up, But now that still to this day, like you can call me a Kanye. You don't have to call me a Kanye fan now, but it's still one of the most impactful albums of my life.
Right.
Sealed the deal for me. Like I didn't. I still ain't gonna
I
dress
think I
like
think
a certain
one
kind
of
of way, but
I think one of my honorable mentions would be the graduation, just because of at the time when we were graduating.
yep, yeah. Graduation was a bop. That one was really good, and I think it's. I don't think it's slept on. Everybody talks about it like that, but for me personally, I think I sleep a little bit more on it because I like late registration a lot too.
I do like late registration, but I like late registration for other reasons.
Yep, yep, yep. I get that.
There are
What
there
about them?
yeah yeah yeah.
Yep.
All right, my number
What about
three,
your number three? Mm-hmm. Then what is it? The Chronic?
Erica Badu,
Baduizm.
Baduisms.
Ah, banger.
Listen,
Another. That's one I didn't listen to all the way through until I got in my 20s. Also,
if
might have messed around in the 30s. No, I wasn't quite 30, probably.
if it was one album that taught me, because when it came out when I was younger, I just kind of listened to it. I just thought the songs was just good, and didn't really think any of it. When I started listening to it after,
I listened to what you were saying.
yeah, when I started listening to what she was saying, and I started resonating with what she was saying, and then I started living by what she was saying, and taking heed to the way that she talks about things, and spiritually, and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm. That's how I felt about George. Uh, my little cousin one time called me. She was kind of upset about a man asking me about like what she should do. I was like, man, just giving it the good old talk about just like keeping your self value and everything. And I was like, look, really listen to Erica Badu's Bag Lady,
yeah,
and think about like what she really saying to you, and think about it, and then apply it to yourself.
yeah,
Like she held on to that, like she still do. She still remind me how she did, and yeah, Erica Badu is a staple.
yeah.
Yeah, she's crazy now. I mean, she always, yeah,
That's that's
yeah.
that's
She probably do the same thing to me.
that's
Mm-hmm.
one that I definitely started listening and heeding those the to keep my peace era of that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so that was definitely that had to be one of the top three.
Okay.
And
Okay.
all right, number two.
Big two. Man, mine's a mixtape, or it's an album now. Uh, Multi alumni. Big Crits, Return Forever.
Mm-hmm.
I got that one on vinyl. uh, that's when that's when I started going to school in Oklahoma. That's when I started dreaming. Just it was country. I was in the country. He was booming. It was conscious. It was loud. It was soulful. All of that, and that really switched up my like perspective of music listening to, and like he had a whole the sound fits me best. I feel like the whole like concept of whatever like any other rapper ever I feel like hasn't put together a sound like more catered to my feelings than that one right there.
I like that.
Yep. Yep.
All right. So my top two, I think you will probably my top two have shaped kind of the foundation of my personality.
Okay. I'm interested.
Of
I like your
why
top 10 so far.
of why I'm kind of so out there and strange, but you still kind of keep it cool, you know.
Yeah.
You want to have your quirks about you.
Yeah.
Number two is a double album. Yes, I cheated. Don't be mad at me. Number two is a double album. Number two is Outkast, Speaker Box, and
Love
Love
below.
Below. I
Man.
hope that you're the
Oh man.
one. If not,
Hey.
you are
You
the prototype.
That's my stuff. I want that. I want that. I want that instrumental playing in the background of my
But
wedding.
she lives
Just like
in my land. She lives in my
that's
land.
my shit too. Mm-hmm.
Forever my
Mm-hmm.
fiance.
You know that's the Outkast album I listen to the least.
That is the one I listen to the most. Second up, which is weird, was Spotty Oddie Doppelicious, the Aquamini. But
Uh-huh.
yeah,
That's my that's my
Aquemini,
favorite one.
yeah, it was between those two.
Mm-hmm.
But
You listen to Outer Wild?
yes,
You like Outer Wild?
um, to a
I like the
fault,
movie. It's
yes.
old,
But no,
but
so
I think it's a really good soundtrack.
because essentially wasn't the Idlewild soundtrack just both of these?
No, not the speaker box to Love Below. The Outer Wild actually had a soundtrack.
Yes, but it was like picked and choose from here. I thought, but I'll have to go back and listen to it again.
No. Oh no. They got some. Oh man, I love that soundtrack actually. Not the whole thing, but the songs that I love most about it. They got which one is on there?
Wait, is the
I
whole
think
world
Mighty
on
O.
there?
No,
Mighty
Mighty
yada
O is
yada
on it.
yo, yeah, mighty yada
Yep,
yada ya.
yep,
I
yep.
thought the whole world,
And
is that where the whole world came from?
no, the whole world was on the compilation album.
Oh
Uh, yep, because it's not on none of their main joints, right? I
yeah,
figured that out whenever streaming came about. Cause
yeah.
yeah,
That is
but
weird.
I know I don't know. But uh, mm, you ready for number one?
Yep.
Number one for me,
Yep.
Lupe Fiasco's "The Cool."
Okay.
Yep, that was my. I was definitely in my nerdiest times. Well, probably my nerdiest times now, but like as far as just like needing a different outlook on some hip hop that went mainstream,
Mm-hmm.
Lupe Fiasco, like I really like Kick Push when it comes out, but I wasn't buying albums like that. And my sister actually got me the Cool for Christmas, and like I was like, I don't know, I do like Superstar, but it seems so mainstream. Man, I put that shit on. Yeah, I put that shit on. Oh my goodness, I wore that CD out. The bars, the difference, the like, man, everything about that album. I got that one on vinyl too. Uh, everything about that album though. just the way he told the story, my level of being impressionable, you know what I mean, at that age,
Yeah.
I was what, 17? Man, yeah, it was definitely, yeah, that was my stuff. Dumb It Down.
And every now and then you see Lupe come out and be like, "Hey, I'll still kick y'all's ass."
The Samurai was fire.
Yeah.
Came out just last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Samurai was
Yeah.
fire.
Every now and then he come out of the wood. He's very. He was Kendrick before Kendrick. He was.
I would say.
Yeah.
I would say. Yep.
Every now and then
Yep.
he just kind of creeps out and he's like, "Hey, you motherfuckers, remember? Go back."
Now I got to go teach this class back at one of them Ivy League schools. He was
Right.
teaching the hip hop class in.
Mm-hmm.
Jizza do that too.
Jizza does.
Jizza do that too.
Oh, Jizza.
Mhm. I think he teaches like a physics class or something. I love it though. Yeah. Uh, Jizza's a physicist.
Oh yeah, he's a
that.
physics major.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Number one, brother.
My number one. A multitude of these albums have gathered inspiration from this album, including number two.
Okay. Okay. What you got?
George Clinton, 1984. Computer Gang.
Ooh.
Brother.
Okay.
Before
Okay.
the Q Dogs hijacked my song and turned it into some little lollygag around, there was George Clinton, Atomic Dog. One Quentin Edwards could not go to sleep without Atomic Dog.
No.
Q Dog. Yep. Quentin, his nickname came because he was the Atomic Dog. Nasty Dog. You could not tell me that was not my song.
Oh man.
Dog.
I'm glad it was George for you. I knew it had to fall somewhere off in there, and yeah. Motherfucker be sleep on the funk, man. You can't sleep. You better no.
George Clinton it taught me that it was okay to be yourself and be weird at a young age, that I could dress how I wanted. I could wear wild colors. There was no limit to what I could do and how I could express myself.
With your chest out.
Yeah.
Dude, you know what I mean?
Right.
And like it was always like funk has always been good game on like self-love and self, you know what I mean? Just a sense of self.
It is, yes.
Absolutely.
It was always the core to, it was always my core to it being okay to not be normal. Coming out with a whole spaceship and the mothership and you got the diaper man over here playing a guitar in a diaper. You got Boosie Collins with a full-on top hat. He's got sequins. There's glitter everywhere. I remember at 12 years old that my mother, for my birthday, got me the tickets. You win them. You could just win them on the radio. But it was the biggest thing in my life, and I got to go see George Clinton and the whole Parliament Funk in the middle of Old Town. and I'm standing there, and there's weed smoke. I don't care. I don't know what this is, but it smelled good. And George Clinton is up on the stage, and out of nowhere, he chucks a water bottle, and you can see it. It's like a movie memory. And it's flying towards me, and I like the kid in the that's getting the winning game ball, woo, in hand, and there's all these old people around me. There's all these old people. They came to see George Clinton, but more importantly, they see this little kid that is so excited to see George Clinton catch this water bottle proudly.
Yeah.
Proudly.
Yeah.
And from that day on, it was. It was okay for me to be myself and be. I don't care if you call me strange. Why does he wear all these bright colors? Is he gay and blah blah blah? I don't care. I don't care. I am unique. I'm just like that guy up on the stage right there with all the feathers in his hair, with the crazy colors in his hair. From that point on.
Ooh, I wish I would have been able to see all of Parliament together. That would have been nice. I saw Boosie Collins on the fly when I went to South Padre. Because it was a Snoop Dogg concert down there, and Boosie Collins was playing the bass behind him. And he introduced, and I was like, yo. So I was like, man. And then I went to go see George Clinton in Funkadelic in Oklahoma City. I had to go. What was that? That was in 2023.
Yeah, you was texting me, and I was like, fuck.
Yep, I went down there. I went by myself, and I was like, man, I'm going to go see him because I remember we were supposed to go when they came here, and my transmission died that day before.
Yep.
Oh, I was devastated. Yeah. Oh man.
At some point.
Hey, look. We got to understand it, man. We got to understand it. It lives within us. By the time you hear this next pop, the funk should be within you. He was on that album.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
The man is an unattainable force within his craft. If you associate with funk, you associate with the Parliament Funkadelic, you associate with George Clinton. There is nothing that does not keep those two away.
Yep. It's so deep in there, man.
And hopefully by next year we will be able to go to South by Southwest, and hopefully that man is still here. And we have the fortunate the pleasure to see this man live together.
Man,
I've seen him.
Dope. I've seen him. Like we were supposed to do 10 years ago?
Yeah.
I'm still mad at that car.
I've been fortunate enough to see him 3 times. But
Uber wasn't a thing back then. But we sure could have shit just Ubered out that But yeah.
Hey, yo.
That's it, man. We took this one a while.
Yeah.
But I can still go, man. But
But yeah, and guess what? I don't have to edit anything. I can just throw this on YouTube.
Whoop.
So
that's what I'm talking about.
With that,
that being said,
another episode of the Off Porch Podcast, boy.
Yeah, we'll be with y'all next Friday. Come and holler at us.
Yeah, and tomorrow I will be on here for another 5 hours. We're gonna do 2 sessions actually. So 3 and 3.
2.5 hours. Man,
yeah.
Let me tell you. Godspeed, brother.
Hey, it is what it is. So, all right.
Holla at y'all.
We will holla at y'all later. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Share, subscribe, like, all of it.
Woo! Goodbye.